why not start the show?
Hi, and welcome to Seattle's #1 comic book podcast. I'm your host, Larry.
The podcast that's dedicated to the first issue of your next favorite comic, and I'm James. We haven't done that stick for a while.
Oh, I haven't. I don't know if I've ever started it all off.
You want to do it? I
totally forgot how it went after I did like 5 words.
Alright, I'll do it. Official. Here we go.
Drop it.
Welcome once again to Seattle's #1 comic book podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to the first issue of your next favorite comic. Explosion. I'm Larry, episode 95.
95. I'm James.
And James, we were talking off camera 5 seconds ago about when we were going to do our second annual award show, the Oneies.
Yeah.
And
I
we
think
never
we should
came
do
up.
episode 100.
Episode 100. So you got 5 weeks to get to the website, sn1cbp.com, and
Cast your ballots.
Cast your ballots, and vote as many times as you want.
So when are we going to cut off? When's the last issue that's going to count for the ballot?
Well, we've already put it up, and Sheltered is on there, but
All right.
I think that's a good place to stop.
Sheltered's going to be the last one for consideration for this year.
For this year. And then next year, you'll have another chance.
So that means, Larry, that this will be the end of my list.
This will be the end of the list.
I'll have to start a fresh list next week.
Next week.
Wow, Larry.
And
That's 2 whole years worth of lists.
And you'll have one comic to put on that list next week.
Yeah, it'll be the #1. It'll be my next week's gimme. You'll have found my next favorite comic. So.
Right on. So I'm coming back from a high. I'm on a crazy Comic-Con high. We had a great weekend. The
Emerald City.
Emerald City Comic-Con. Good buddy Jason, friend of the show, and new buddy, friend of the show, Dave, went to Comic-Con.
Did you take the Yellow Brick Road to get there?
No, but I dropped along the way tons and tons of coveted SN1 CBP collector's buttons. James, you don't have a button yet, do you?
I don't have a button. I do have a T-shirt though that I happen to be wearing at this very moment.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I had a bunch of buttons made and handed out, and we got tons more listeners. I hope.
Nice.
So
they're probably listening right now.
I hope so. And
I better step my game up.
Yeah, we put that radio announcer voice.
Larry, I'm on the ball.
Your review better be killer.
All right. Yeah.
Also, I got a bunch of art.
Of course. Yeah, so Larry likes to get some collector's pieces when he goes to the Comic-Con. Who did you see, and who did you get some art by? Usually you do like some kind of jam piece and try to get a couple people onto one collaborative effort. What was your collab intention, direction this year?
So this year I had one to finish up, and it was my Spider-Man. I'll put these on the web too. I'll put these on my on our podcast or on our
website.
On our website, sn1cbp.com.
Seattle's #1 comic book podcast.
And so let's see. I finished up one jam piece. It was Spider-Man villains with Spider-Man in the villain or in the middle, and Randy Eberman, famous classic Spider-Man artist, did the most amazing splashy Spider-Man. He put some webs in the corners. It looks so good. So that was a highlight. Also, I got Stan Sakai, who did a little commission for me, and I've decorated the basement with all of my Larry's comic book club commissions that I've gotten over the years, and I got 3 more this year.
Nice.
So Stan Sakai was a big get, and that is...
Yeah, he did Yojimbo.
Yosaji Yojimbo and...
Yosaji Yojimbo, the samurai rabbit.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw that, James, but it's just a straight up Yosaji with 2 swords coming right at you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then one of my favorite artists, and we talked about him on our artist walk one time, Jim Terry, who did a book called Sundowners, did he should be working, and we had a long conversation about how much we both love the Westerns, and people aren't buying Westerns, so he's not working on any Westerns, but...
Really? People aren't buying what? Because, like, it's amazing to me that they are their own category.
Right.
You know, like, of any time period in history that exists, like, for some reason we decided to give focus to the American... I mean, I think it's because Hollywood, that's where Hollywood actually exists, so they can just use the setting that they're already at.
Uh-huh.
But Western is such a big genre that, like, I don't know, it's
I love
hard
the
for me
Western.
to imagine, like, it not being like, it might be my favorite genre of comic book.
I like it a lot too, but so Jim did just this grizzled cowboy with Larry's Comic Book Club sign above it. I just love it. It's just awesome. And then I filled in a few holes on my new jam piece. It's kind of a boring one, but it's just Justice League characters. I got a Superman, a Batman, a Wonder Woman, an Aquaman, and a Cyborg. So,
yeah, I like the, what's the one on the bottom in the middle?
Oh, I'm not looking at it.
Oh, sorry. It's not, like, it's the one that's kind of, it's got the splattering in the corner.
Oh.
I wasn't really listening when you listed them off.
That's the Superman with the,
Oh, that's Superman?
Let me look at it. Splattering in
it's
the corner.
really zoomed in on, or like, you can't see his costume really. There's like a weird black background. He's got like black curly hair, or black hair. I don't know. I really like the style of it though. Cause
yeah.
Like, what I like about these jam pieces is you see all the different artists in context of each other. So like when someone has a unique art style, it really stands out. But I'm surprised that you let some of them do color. Cause like it almost seems like cheating in how it draws your eye to these jam pieces.
Right.
But if he's doing a watercolor, like, what are you gonna do? You can't do a black and white.
Yeah, I don't mind. I sometimes like look at the Spider-Man one, like there's color in two of the panels. You're right. It does kind of draw your eyes away.
It draws my eye. I'm like, that Venom is too good. But then it's almost like it's cheating.
Yeah.
You know, even though it is really good.
Yeah, I just sort of give them carte blanche.
Yeah, like give them free reign. And
yeah.
Let them you want them to enjoy themselves.
But and if you go to a con and you have a few bucks to spend, I think it's a fun way to just spend the day, like racing around and seeing, hey, can you do me a jam? And it's always really fun for me.
Oh, I mean, it's a really smart way to do it. Anyway, so do you have any other highlights from the con, or should we get into our issue here?
It was a fun con. I have to say that just as an older person, mm-hmm. I'm not that old, but man, after 5 or 6 hours of walking the con floor, you feel it. Oh, my legs. And
your legs are tired.
Carrying my backpack around full of issues. Number 1 issues. I got to get them all signed.
Oh yeah, do you get your number 1 issues signed?
I try and get them all signed. I don't know. I'm no collector.
No, but getting the number 1 signed that's a good.
Oh yeah.
Because you're all about the number 1 issues now, Larry.
That's right, and this is Seattle's number 1 comic book podcast. And this week we did a book.
Did you get this one signed?
I got this one signed a couple years ago by
Larry's ahead of the game.
Ed Brisson
by Johnny Christmas.
And Johnny Christmas. And I made a mistake last week. I said Johnny Christmas was English. He's not English. He's from Miami.
Oh.
And he is a super, super duper nice guy. He was at the con. He also did a little commission piece for me. He wasn't even drawing, but I twisted his arm, and he is such a nice guy.
Nice. Wow, Larry, you actually have a story about the guy.
So
wait,
yes.
what did he draw for you?
Actually, I sent you a picture. But this character, his name is Curtis, and he's just
the guy on the cover.
Yeah, no. This is Lucas on the cover, but the small the small commission that he did for me is a character who we meet later on in the story. I think maybe issue 3 or so, and he is this little oh, he's just a shit. Like and he's got like the Mac 10.
That's a good that's the type of character that's in this book.
Yeah, so let's get into the Sheltered.
Shits.
Yeah.
Sheltered. Yeah, who did we say all the people it's by?
Oh, so Sheltered is...
It's by Brisson, by Christmas, and by Hanukkah.
Yep. Oh, look at that.
It looks a lot like Hanukkah.
It is. What is her name? I'm going to...
Shari, Shama, it's CHANKHAMMA. Hankama.
Hakama.
Yeah,
Hamama. Yeah.
Shari Hankama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Christmas.
Johnny Christmas and Ed
Bryson. And you want to do the you were so good last week when you did the issue info.
I don't even have it up right now. Oh, I have the book, but I don't have the issue info in front of me. Larry, do you have it in front of you?
I do. A pre-apocalyptic tale of survival at any cost. The men and women of Safe Haven have been preparing for any and all end-of-world scenarios for years. However, their bunkers, weapons, and training can't save them from the one threat they never could have expected. I don't want to spoil it just yet.
Their own children.
Ah, you spoiled it. Yes, spoiler alert.
Oh wait, I guess that's kind of a spoiler.
Yeah, so there you go. Oh yeah, I guess if it's in the summary.
Yeah, kind of weird that they put. Well, yeah, okay.
So let's get into it, man. What'd you think?
Let's get into it. So, it's oh, that's weird that I had. Should we talk about the art first? Because I think I like the art better than the story.
I think that the story is really, it moves along in a very crisp clip.
Actually, that's not true. I like the concept of the story, but like the way that the story is told, it jumps around a lot between the characters, and like it was almost, I wouldn't say it was hard to follow, but maybe it was hard to follow.
It does have some elements of being hard to follow, and I think that the hooks and clues are too small.
Okay, I think maybe that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Is like it'll put a hook for a page, like it'll leave every action dangling, but it'll catch it back up like 2 pages later.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm not describing that well.
No, I thought that was a great description.
Like, and what did you say? And then you won't hear, instead of hearing what the person says on the next page, it's a cut to new characters in a new scene.
Uh-huh.
And it just keeps like, I don't know, they were too small each time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hooks are too small and they're just a little too hidden. But you like the art.
But I do like the art. But I also like the big concept of it. Like, I thought the execution storytelling part was hard. Like, it'll be harder to, like, follow or, like, retell pace by pace. Like, I think it'll just be easier to say the big concept and then we'll talk about each individual section.
Yeah.
So there's, like, it takes place in this, like, off the grid, commune type situation in kind of a modern setting. And apparently they're all like doomsday preppers. They think there's some kind of doomsday coming and they want to be prepared. And that means having supplies of food and water as well as like guns and munitions or whatever. But it also means being secretive so that nobody knows when the doomsday comes that there's this commune here that has all this stuff. So it's a lot of like hiding the materials and like knowing how to like improvise. They use the improvise a lot. They're improvising a lot.
Right.
So there's like discussion of like teaching people how to do the right thing in order to be part of the community and like all be successful. But then there's also like argument over how if we should get permits for the development that's going on, because if the city finds out, then they'll make us tear it down. But if they